Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Hey guys, what's up? Eizouken Detective here, investigating your favorite animes, and today I'll be reviewing my last anime in the year 2020. Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, or in Japanese, Eizouken ni wa te o dasu na. It is from a 2016 manga series from Owara Sumito, and it is now an anime in the year 2020, airing on the friggin' NHK, the National Japanese Broadcast Channel. It is a comedy series about three young girls trying to create anime, and it's a very meta anime because it's about making anime. So if you're into crazy weird fantasy with magic and monsters and waifus, this will not be your cup of tea. While this is a grounded anime conceptually, visually it is actually insane. The animators is pretty smooth, but then we have the parts where the three characters literally jump into their own imaginations, into the anime that they're making, and it gets really, really creative. The OP is also really cool. It's this goofy dance between the three characters on top of the song Easy Breezy, and it's really colorful, cartoony, and fun. And then we have the ED, which is basically a passionate Japanese rock song again, but whatever, I don't mind. So, anyways, we have episode 1, the pilot episode, and without knowing much about the characters or where they are, we are immediately introduced to the three main characters. Asakusa, the main girl, who's very young, small, energetic, and extremely creative and passionate about creating anime. Her friend Kanamori is not interested. She just wants to make money. Then they ran into this famous girl, sort of like the daughter of a pair of celebrity parents, Mizusaki, who's really into drawing characters and body movements, but her parents forbid her to join the anime club because they wanted to force her to become an actress. So Kanamori had the idea to create a different club, which is Eizouken, or the video production club. Is it Kanamori or Kinamori? I forgot. And it also seems really easy breezy when you can just randomly create a club like that, and the school already somehow had a small little warehouse or clubhouse thing as the clubhouse. But immediately we have some really amazingly creative scenes where Asakusa would imagine herself flying a jet plane which looks like a dragonfly, and the minute details of how the plane works, its features, and the story that spawns from it. Also, I guess these three characters also represent three sides of a production. Asakusa is the burning creative passion, Kanamori is the practical businesswoman, and Mizusaki is the one who tries to perfect some of the more basic elements. Even though I don't make animes, I make short films now. I kind of relate to this, and it's cool to see how these characters try to start a club and try to go from step 1, get some money, find a place, find an idea. Episodes 2 and 3 slows things down a little bit. We have Asa and Mitsu trying to animate a windmill, and we have these really informational graphic scenes which explains how things rotate at a certain angle. And then again, we have the crazy creative scenes where we go to Asa's imagination as she creates this building, makes this cave appear, blow up a building, flood the place, spawning tanks and boats everywhere. Episode 3 is where they try to get money to repair the very broken and cheap clubhouse. I still don't understand how they managed to make some money with a small clip of Asa falling down. I don't understand why would a TV channel buy a clip like that and then air it for some reason. But for me, this anime almost feels half real as well. Again, we don't know the exact location of where they are, how old are they. We don't really see their normal lives all that much. Some real places in this anime has strange details as well, and strange backgrounds. It's almost like I'm watching a work in progress about a work in progress. There's a scene where they go over a different ideas and they jump from world to world, and they finally found one and they had to come up with a story idea. Asa thought of this tank, and then Mitsu thought of this girl who can wield a machete, and they're like, oh yeah, let's animate a 3-minute long anime about a girl fighting a tank in the middle of the desert. So yeah, it's cool to see the creative process behind all this. Episode 4 concludes the first arc, and it's a friggin' amazing episode. They were basically 1 month away from the deadline, and they're nowhere near the finishing project. So Kana was like, you either work 24 hours a day for the next 30 days, or you just cut the anime short. And then there's a lot of struggling between, okay, we're gonna work faster versus, okay, we're gonna make it black and white, we're gonna abandon the sounds, we're just gonna use some softwares and not hand draw every frame. And I also find it relatable when I don't have the budget or time for filming my short films. I just delete scenes and delete characters, and it sucks, and I get it. But at the end, they finally had to present their final project in front of an angry crowd, and I don't know if this is supposed to be a high school or is the high school the entire government, because the way they're presenting it is like trying to pitch a new department in the government, and the angry crowd is being stopped by a wall of police, and then there's the state council, which are really strict and tricky, and the team almost hit a rock bottom here, but they somehow managed to surprise everyone with this anime they made, and it just worked. Damn, I wish my movies would surprise people like this as well. Episodes 5 and 6 mark a new era for the team, of course. Once you succeed as an artist, you probably still can't do what you like because people are going to pay you to make projects you don't want to make. Welcome to the industry, I guess. So the Robotics Club asked Eizouken, aka the team, to make a robot anime. And there's a huge argument over creative decisions and stuff, but the team agreed to do it at the end. Then there's the part where they do location scouting, and then they had to have a meeting with the art club and ask for their help. Kana was in talks with the ICT club for a free PC and a software for animation, and they had to pretty much blackmail the audio club for free sound effect samples. They really put a lot of work and effort into this, and it's great to see a project in development. I also need someone like Kana working with me because she's so practical and she always has everything ready and prepared. She doesn't give a shit about creative freedom or let's try this, let's try that, because money and practicality is priority. And yes, that's the brutal truth, and I hate that, but I definitely need someone who can make everything I'm visioning as practical as possible. Then we got episode 7 to 8, concluding the robot versus the crab monster anime arc. And it's great as expected. Episode 7 started off with very wholesome flashbacks about Mitsu, how Mitsu had always been a girl who likes drawing people and drawing movements over and over and over to perfect her artistry. The episode also ended off with an epic monologue of Mitsu trying to tell everyone how passionate she is towards drawing. I also love that the characters in the story didn't have crazy tragic backstories, but something more fitting to the tone and the narrative. Episode 8 is easily the best episode so far. It's the climactic episode, and they had to show their anime on a huge screen in a gigantic hall. I don't know how 3 high school girls can manage to do that, but okay. And somehow the men in black had returned and tried to kidnap Mitsu, and there's a whole James Bond-esque chase scene, which is just ridiculous, hilarious, and entertaining as hell. We also see a lot of post-production in this episode. The scene where they try to figure out the sound design is fantastic. Seeing Asa go, this scene is better off silent, and what if we use the music of cut 73 and replace the music of cut 52 is just very satisfying. We can also see the story establishing a producer-director-actor relationship. Kana is the producer, Asa is the writer-director, and Mitsu is the actor. Of course, we also have the sound guy and other people in the crew, but it's just really cool that a story would show this relationship. I'm going to be honest here. I didn't even know what a director does until a couple years ago. I've always thought the director just directs. But no, they are the envisioners. They see the script and translate it onto the screen. They're the main brain behind everything. The storytelling, the pace, the tone, the style, the everything. And then we have episode 9. Episode 9 is the beginning of a new chapter where they realize they didn't have any money, so they need to turn down these collab offers because they want a higher percentage of the profit. Again, they're just high school girls Why are they so professional? We also see flashbacks of Kana, how she has always been a businesswoman. I can't stress this enough, but I need someone like Kana working with me. I usually come up with cool ideas for movies and short films and TV shows, but of course I can't solely rely on the quality of those ideas. It's the promotion that matters. Find a selling point, find a target audience, make it interesting, make it relevant. I suck at that. The last three episodes are also pretty good. Episode 10 is where they once again got under attack by the student council. Quite literally, the security society showed up with drones and tanks and the military to attack them on episode 11. But back to episode 10, it's the episode where the character sort of gets stuck. Kana was so focused on the money she began to value the promotion aspect more than the product itself. Then Asa had a creative block. She didn't even come up with a full story until like 90 days into production. That's illegal, I'm telling you. They also spent a lot of time exploring this abandoned clock tower, and it's a pretty forgettable episode overall. We also have this student council secretary who seems to be the big antagonist, but then she showed up out of nowhere and hung out with the team, and I thought her character is going to have some sort of redemption, but no. Episode 1 is slightly more interesting, where Asa combined every crazy little weird idea to form her story. That was a pretty awesome scene, and just when they think they're all set, there's one big final problem, and that is the music. Apparently, the music team messed up and composed a track that totally does not fit the anime. This brings us to the finale episode where they had to immediately change the ending of the story in order to fit the track, which is crazy. How do two high school girls spend only half a day and completely animate and recut and finalize an entire project, and then somehow they had to submit this project to some other company that presses DVDs? I don't know how many days had passed, but I'm pretty sure you can't just submit a video to a DVD company and then on the next day the company shows up with 10,000 DVDs. It's just not possible. But it's still a very satisfying ending, and we also see the whole short anime itself. Not that impressive, honestly. I thought there was going to be voice acting, but no. It's also very confusing at times, and the music does not fit at all. I guess the animation is super smooth, and the sound effects are for some reason really good. Overall, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken is a brilliant little anime that shows people who have dreams and how they try to achieve it with creativity and passion. This is also incredibly insightful when it comes to showing how a media project is produced. The funding, the promotion, the idea, the recruitment, and also the hardships that come along with it, the financial struggles, the creative block, and some people just trying to bring you down for some reason. We also have very, very, very creative scenes where characters would jump into their own imaginations. The real world of this anime and the imagined world coexist, and the lines in between are blurred. The voice actresses themselves would even mimic sound effects with onomatopoeias. Yes. Though I think the ending didn't land as perfectly as I wanted it to, I think overall this is a rare piece of anime where it's not all magic and fantasy and waifus and action. It is simply teens with dreams. And even though it's unrealistic and that usually people would fail, like me, it's still satisfying and eye-opening to see an anime talking about making anime. So yeah, my favorite episode is episode 8, and my least might be episode 2. I'm giving Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, or Eizouken ni wa te o dasu na, a decent 8 out of 10. So, have you seen Eizouken? From 1 to 10, how much you rate it, like it, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Yeah, tell me what anime do you want me to review next. But if nothing goes wrong, I will be watching Beastars, Kakegurui, and then the new Attack on Titan season, and the new ReZero season. And then afterwards, maybe Death Note, and the Monogatari series. Yeah, I'm gonna watch these animes in 2021, and then of course a bunch more. You know.